Hey everyone, this is Gail with Pretty Presets, and today I'm here to highlight two collections that we are re-releasing that have previously been retired. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each of the collections. I'm going to highlight some of the favorite presets that are in each collection and just edit a couple of images with each collection. So hopefully this won't take too long. And I'm going to start with Fine Art Film. It's the most recently retired. It was retired less than a year ago. Has some great presets in it. So let's start here with Bejeweled V1 and Bejeweled V2. These are two fantastic presets that have been used over and over. And this collection, I'll click on Bejeweled V1, was designed with film in mind. They were basically created to simulate films. And because of this, because black and white is such a standard in film photography, this collection has quite a few black and whites in it. So a collection that we've released recently may have maybe two black and whites in it. This collection is probably at least half black and white, and they're beautiful black and whites. But let's talk here about a couple of the color ones. This is Bejeweled V1. As I clicked on it, I'll show you the before and after so you can kind of see that it adds a little bit of warmth. It has a nice matte. It's very soft, very subtle. This edit, if we click on V2, you'll notice that the biggest change is that it's a little cooler. So V1 is a warmer version and V2 is a little bit cooler. And depending on your image and what it looks like before, one or the other might look better. But I like the warm version V1 for this image. I think it's very pretty. I love what it does to the skin tones here. So let's talk about a couple of black and whites while we're here. Let's click on Azure Mist. So Azure Mist is going to have a slightly blue tone to it, and I like that here. If I was editing this, I'd probably increase my exposure just slightly, and just gorgeous contrast. Beautiful skin tones in this black and white. I love how creamy they are, even though it's kind of a cool version. Probably one of my all-time favorite presets in this collection is Sterling. This is another just really gorgeous black and white, and I really like contrasty black and whites. This doesn't have a lot of matte to it. It's just a really classic black and white. So both of those are gorgeous black and whites that look great on this image. So let's come over. I'm going to click on a different image now, and this is an image you're probably seeing a lot right now. We're using it to promote these collections. So I'm going to highlight a couple of other color presets in this collection right now. I'm going to click on Matte Color. Matte Color is really just a pretty color finish to any image. And right here on this image, and this is just true with any preset, if your white balance is not great before you add a preset, it's not going to be great after you add a preset. So I'm going to click on my white balance dropper over here in the basic panel. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to click on one of these little white spots on her jacket to help me get a white balance, and I think that's gone a little bit too far to the green side, so I'm just going to adjust my tint slightly to the right. And just a pretty edit. Let's look at the before and after. I like that it's got a very subtle matte finish to it. It's not extreme. It's just a really classic, pretty, really film looking edit to this image. Really, really pretty. So let's also look at probably one of the preeminent black and whites that's also in this collection that's different from the other black and whites that I showed you here. And I'm going to click on Fine Art Film. This is the preset that the collection is named after, and it's a beautiful preset. It's got a nice amount of matte to it. It's extremely contrasty. Editing this, I would probably bump my exposure just a touch, but gorgeous contrast, which is always lovely in a black and white, and the perfect amount of matte to really enhance the image. So just beautiful, beautiful presets. Keep in mind that it's, you know, a balance of black and white and color, but there's a lot more black and whites in this collection than I've been in any of our more recent collections. So let's click on a couple of other preset or images, and let's talk about the Retro Rock and Roll collection. So this collection was a more vintage based collection. It has more kind of more retro, maybe a little bit edgy presets included in it. So we're gonna start here with this one. This actually is an image that you wouldn't necessarily think retro with, but maybe it could have a nice vintage vibe to it. So I want to show you a couple of presets that I really like from this collection. This one is a very cool but really punchy. I love what it does to the pinks here. So if I click on the before and after, you can kind of see what it's done. It's got gorgeous creamy, cool creamy skin tones and really punched the color with some contrast that's really nice. If I click on the V2 version of this, you'll notice that it's just slightly darker, slightly more contrast, and slightly more pop for color, which is really pretty here as well. So great presets there. One of my favorite black and whites in this collection, and I don't even know how to say it exactly right, but Film Noir, that's how I'm going to say it. And I need to take off, obviously, I thought I had taken all of these off, but I have not removed one of the filters that was on this one. So this is just a really pretty classic black and white. I would probably bump the exposure just slightly. That's probably a little too much. Maybe there. Just a really pretty classic black and white, a little bit of matte, very kind of vintage or retro feel to this. Just really pretty. So let's click on another photo here. This has also got a lot of color pop, a little bit like our last one, but I'm going to use this to talk about probably the two favorites in this collection are Aquarius V1 and Aquarius V2. And if you've been around very long, you've probably seen these presets used here at Pretty Presets. They're huge favorites. So you can see with this one, you can see the very vintage kind of retro feel that Aquarius V1 gives this photo. If I click on Aquarius V2, you'll notice that it's just a slightly warmer, slightly more contrasty version of it. So you can see the difference between V1 and V2. More warmth, maybe a little bit more contrast. Just really pretty effects, kind of that vintage feel, which is just fun. Another one of the black and whites in this collection that's really great is Platinum. And I just wanted to show you this one. This one is not quite as contrasty as some of the other ones, but has a lovely kind of blue-green undertone that is just so unique, and I really like this version. So that's just a highlight of a few of the presets that are in these collections. You definitely don't want to miss out on these. They're such great prices, and who knows when they'll be released or if they'll ever be released again. So a great time to get your hands on these two great collections. Thanks for being here. We'll talk later.